The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience Mastermind. Light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Good morning, Lancelot. How are you today?
Great, great. How you doing? Good to see
I am
you, sir.
exceptional, getting better every day, my friend.
Absolutely. That's it. That's it.
That's
I was
exactly
expecting to see that magic show happen, but it didn't happen this morning.
not
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. The
Yes.
magician always appears, but you never know. There's still time.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So,
Real quick, and if I can just plug the film, The Veteran. It is now
absolutely.
out on
Woo.
Tubi and Fox Soul. Fox Soul just put it out a couple days ago, and I actually have a Tubi on my app, so I watched the movie like 2 times already, and it's well done. And
That's
let
great.
me just plug it. I'm in a film called The Veteran that's out on Amazon Prime. You can, if you have that, if you have Tubi or Fox Soul, is for free. And you can download the Tubi app and watch it on your phone. And it's I'm starring in it along with oh my God, Yanko Valentine. So it's an excellent movie called The Veteran. So I would encourage everybody to go and check it out.
Absolutely. And excited for you, excited for everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
But we're talking about the result from an actual journey, right? If you think about it, when you first started shooting that first day till the last day when you guys finally wrapped it up, it had to be an adventure, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what we're talking about today, the adventures that lead to greatness, right? That's why we're talking about planes, trains, and automobiles. And if you've ever seen the movie, you know that a lot of things go wrong along the way. But it's the people you meet, the conversations you have along the way that really shape your experience, that shape you as a person. And I'm sure shooting the movie The Veteran really maybe even opened your eyes further than they were already opened to see the struggles that some veterans go through. Would you want to tell us about that?
Well, I'd like to go back into when I first met him, because it's about, train, planes, and automobiles, and certain things happen. And I met the producer, a brilliant. He's considered the best producer of our time. He's done 8 films in 8 years. But I met him. There we go. Good morning, Jose. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I met him during the pandemic at a time when we were all locked down. And I was having feelings of depression because I wasn't able to go to the gym. I didn't know, for the first time, I was not in control of my life. So in the midst of being locked down, I then made some decisions and choices of what I was going to do. One of the things I decided to do was I started doing push-ups, and I wound up doing 75,000 push-ups and 30,000 pull-ups, and I raised over $28,000 for 3 different organizations. That was a choice I made. Another choice I made was I was going to put my reel together, my acting reel, and start sending it out. Why? Because I started realizing that we don't have time on our side. You know, we don't know what's going on. We're not in control. This is my time to take control of what I could take control of. You said I'm locked down. Okay, well, while I'm locked down, I'm going to do something that I want to do. So I sent out my reel. And a friend of mine said there's a guy doing a film called Hilo 3. I sent out my video. He came back and hired me as an actor, gave me a small role. Now, to show you again about trains, planes, and automobiles, when you meet different people, you put forth your best effort. I gave my best effort as an actor, went on there, I was prepared, and he liked me, gave me another scene, and then gave me another role as an actor, as a lead on a movie called Oculus. Then on Oculus—
That's the poster behind you, right? That's the poster behind you.
Yes, yes. I got the lead in that. And then from there, he then casted me as a small lead on a smaller movie called A Security Guard. I did my thing on that. So the point I'm making is that you take a situation such as the pandemic, which some people allowed the pandemic to affect them in a negative way. I decided by choice to make it affect me in a positive way. And then I did the work in order to do that. And 4 films later, I'm the lead and the veteran. But that was all set up by the decisions I made way back in 2019 or 2020 to get out there and do the work to become the best that I could possibly be. So I think that's a good example of trains, planes, and automobiles, and taking the negative and turning it into positive, and then turning that positive into another positive.
Love it, love it. Good afternoon to you, Angeline. I know you're in Greece, and afternoon there.
Hey,
it's morning for us, but
good morning.
And I know you're going to see Jose in a couple of days. It's going to be incredible. And
Nice.
right there, that's the journey, right, that we all take. Because each one of us has either traveled together, traveled to go see each other, traveled to go to an event, or even traveled to have our own event. And I've traveled with all of you guys, and it's really pretty incredible when we are en route to our destination and something maybe doesn't always go as planned. Maybe there's a delay, either the plane, the train, or the automobile. Maybe you get a flat tire. But along the way, you may meet somebody, even at a rest stop, you may meet somebody, right? And it can change the dynamic of the way you're traveling, even the thoughts you have along the way. Jose, you're planning to go to Greece tomorrow morning, and you're going to be there, and you could tell us a little bit about your trip, and also who's going on this trip with you. I know there's a bunch of people that are going to be there, but who's physically traveling with you on your trip?
Well, it's kind of interesting because the cool thing about tomorrow morning, I leave at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time, so my time. It's going to be a late night flight. But 8 of us are flying together, which is very exciting. So it's going to be Mike and his wife Brittany, which is going to be awesome.
Mike Stevenson?
Mike Stevenson, yeah. And his wife he's bringing his wife Brittany, and then Pete McHugh is bringing his wife Joelle, and Patrick Rude is coming with his wife Julie, and of course I am bringing Katie, my wife. So it's going to be 8 of us flying on the same flight together out of NYC. So we're flying out of JFK airport, and I have my driver taking us here from, who's also a CLA member, by the way. Shout out to Cinta, who's taking me from my house. He's picking me and Katie up and taking us to Patrick's house in New Jersey. And then Patrick has his own driver too, so he's going to pick us up when we arrive there and take us from there to New York. So We'll be napping on both rides there, and then we all arrive in NYC JFK Airport, and we fly together to Santorini. So we go from JFK to Athens, and then in Athens there's like a 1-hour flight over to Santorini in a more smaller jet kind of thing. So we will be seeing Angeline very, very soon. I'm excited. We arrive in Santorini on the 11th because we're leaving on the 10th. It's like a whole day of travel.
Nice.
You see, you're traveling in different modalities with different people, meeting up different people. I'm sure the conversations are going to be so interesting and diverse. And that's what we're getting at here. That when you consider going to an event, it's such an important thing to recognize the moments that are going to take you there. Because nobody tells you, hey, when you get to the airport, this is going to happen. TSA, this, the other. You got to take your shoes off, maybe your belt, maybe you got to take your coat off. All these different things, because that doesn't sell the travel, right? The negative parts of traveling don't sell the travel. It's the destination that sell it. So you guys are going to go through all this loop-de-loop in order to get to your destination, but the goal is the destination, correct?
That is correct. Sifu, like, again, and this is not anything new from me to you or from me to the audience or whatever. I think we all know this kind of like tucked away in the back of our mind is winners find reasons to make something work, right? And losers find excuses, right? Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to find a reason to do everything because you can't, right? In some cases, there are realities of life, and there's also a budget, and there's also, family obligations, and there's other commitments and things like that, right? But at some point, there has to be reasons to do something. So yes, planes, trains, automobiles, that's what we're talking about today. It's not so much about the transportation as much as it's about commitment, as much as it's about resourcefulness, sacrifice, doing whatever it takes to get into the room. So we were like, okay, we can fly from here and spend this much money. I can't even put it on the screen probably, or it was super massively expensive to get to Greece from here. Or I can have my driver that I already have set up a nice arrangement with him hook us up, and he was going to take us straight to New York. So from here to New York, and then Patrick's like, hey, why are you going to do that? Why don't you just come to Jersey, and the other 2.5, I'll take it from there because I have my driver taking us, and it's just me and my wife. And I was like, so 4 of us can fit with luggage. So I said, okay, great. So now from the outside angle, people could say, oh my gosh, you're going to take one driver to get to New Jersey, to get another driver to go to the JFK, to take a flight all the way to Athens, and then to go to the center. Like, that sounds like such a hassle. But guess what? Guess who's going to be in the room in Santorini? Guess who's going to get the job done? Guess who's going to have a blast and grow their business? The person who became resourceful, who is committed, who's sacrificing, who found a way to win. And that's what it comes down to.
Exactly. You said one thing, sacrifice. And people don't realize that you may be even if you go to the theater, right? If you go to the movies, sometimes you have to sacrifice time with other people. You have to sacrifice commitments that you could have made, but you decided to choose this particular one. And every day we sacrifice something for something else. Some sacrifices are big, some sacrifices are small, but still a sacrifice. And I call those sacrifices decisions. So the decisions that we make every day impact our tomorrows. And the decision I'm asking everybody here, whoever is on the call, obviously you guys are on the call, but whoever is in the audience, whoever's watching, whether it's now or you're going to watch the replay, or you're listening to the audio portion of it, because this is also, by the way, on Apple Podcasts. So if you ever wanted to listen to our show while you're driving, we're on Apple Podcasts. Just look up New York City Experience, right? And when you consider the decision I would love for everyone to make is to join us in Atlanta. That's September 25th through the 27th. When you consider that, yes, it would be a sacrifice on your part to join us there. But I got to tell you, it's a sacrifice that can change the trajectory of your business, your family, and your life. And I can only say that because of past experiences. I'm not just saying it for no reason. I'm saying it because this is what people have told us who have come to our events. So many people have said, wow, my life changed in Tampa. Have you guys heard that?
Absolutely. And we have two people on the call right now. Leon, who came in also, as well as Angeline.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
Yeah.
look at this. Leon said she is purchasing tickets for Atlanta today.
Yeah, Leon.
Woo! Congratulations. That is incredible.
Leadership. We
Yes.
love the leadership, Leon.
And look who else is chiming in, right?
And Renee, hey!
She's been on the show so many times, and she's
Yes.
covered for you. So Renee, yes.
Thank you
And
for watching, Renee. She watched the veteran.
yeah,
the other day.
and Renee too, yes.
Can I quickly
It is fire. Go for it.
if I may quickly explain, some people are saying, well, Jose, well, Sifu, well, Lancelot, I was already at your last one. So I'll just wait till the one next year. I'll go to another one in the future. I've already been to NYC Mastermind Experience. Let me tell you something. There's a reason. There's a method to the madness of why we put on multiple events throughout the year. They're not just for fun, guys. Okay. Now, yes. Do we enjoy ourselves? Yes. Are the meetings after the meetings fantastic? Yes. Do we build deeper relationships? Of course. Is it a nice getaway and you get to see new scenery in a different state, different country, different city, whatever? Yes. And you get to do some sightseeing and you get to experience some new things, maybe some different cuisine. Of course. Those are all wonderful. But I don't know if I really need to be there, Jose. I was at the last one. It was fantastic. I loved it. It was life-changing, but I don't know if I need to be at the next one. Let me tell you something. You do. And the reason why we put on these events consistently throughout the year is because as entrepreneurs, we have an oxygen tank in terms of our motivation, in terms of our commitment level, in terms of our discipline, in terms of our staying inspired, in terms of our vision, in terms of our dream, the meter of our dream that stays alive. All of these things diminish as people tell you no, as people ask for a refund, as people say, hey, I didn't to make that commitment to you. Is there any way we can get that money back, or change of thought? I had a change of heart, whatever the case is. Or, hey, somebody committed to pay you something and then they say, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. I'm so sorry, but I can't follow through on my commitment that I made to you. Or, hey, you know what? People talking trash behind your back. Or so-and-so said this. Or an event needs to be postponed or canceled. Or people are telling you no and no and no, and you're getting tons of no's. Or you're not getting enough leads and you're getting frustrated. You're feeling that burnout, or you're overworking yourself. And guess what happens to your oxygen tank as an entrepreneur? It starts to do this. It starts to dwindle over time. And the reality is, if you let that bad boy empty, you're going to be on life support, and you're going to burn out, and you're going to crash and burn, and your business will die. So these events are spaced out just enough so that you are lowering your oxygen tank, and then you come back and you fill it up again. And then you start to dwindle over time, and then you come and you fill it up again. And you're going to grow, not only personally, but you're going to grow your business from one event to the next event, to the next event, to the next event. And that is why we intentionally, this is not by choice or by chance or because we need more money. It's because we understand the dynamics of entrepreneurship, and we understand what we all go through. And we need a hub. We need an environment where we can all come together to inspire each other, to equip each other, to educate each other, to sharpen each other, to hug each other, and say, hey, we're in this thing together. That's what this is about. It's deeper than the ticket. It is deeper than the resourcefulness of planes, trains, and automobiles. It is filling up your oxygen tank so you can keep your dream alive and keep your business growing.
Woo. Preach.
So listen, we have Renee She's also taking the stage with us again. She honored us in Tampa. I cannot wait to listen to her again in, ready, Atlanta. We also have somebody else who recently joined the CLA who's also going to be taking the stage with us. And ready? Let me share with you. Yes, Dr. Fred Moore. He's a good friend of mine, and he's also going to be joining us. He's taking the stage, and I got to tell you, he's also a VIP. So in order to take the stage, we are not charging speakers, but you need to be a VIP. And then we make a decision if your message is loud enough or clear enough or magnifiable, if you will, to allow other people to have an impact from your message, then we will put you on our stage. Because we don't want anybody just coming on our stage. We definitely do not want somebody selling from the stage, because that becomes kind of gross to me anyway. And I've been to many events where it's one speaker sells you their product, the next speaker sells you their product, and all of a sudden it becomes a sales fest. That's not what happens at our events. Our events, people get to do business with one another because they get to know each other. People will ask to work with you because of the person you are, not because of your sales trickery, if you will, from the stage. And I know a lot of people love selling from the stage. You're like, I make so much money from the stage, but you also make zero connections, right? And I know you also get a lot of what? Refunds. You get to do a lot of refunds. So the people that we bring on our stages barely ever do any refunds. Why? Because they made this happen first. It was a connection. And that's why our event's a little bit different than most events you will go to, because nobody's going to be selling you stuff from the stage, right? You may have a conversation with somebody and you go, wow, I love what you do. Can I work with you? Well, they'll say that to you. So being in the space will dramatically change who you are and who you become. So yes, if you have not secured your ticket, I love what Jose said last time. He said there's procrastination tax, because once we get to a certain number, the ticket prices are going up. Right now, we're giving it away. We're giving it away. So I'm going to tell you the prices. $197 gives you 3 days to be with us. $597 gives you the VIP. You get to be in the front. You get dinner Friday night. You get lunch Saturday, and you get dinner Saturday night. Have you ever been to an event, Jose, where you've paid that much money, that little bit of money, and gotten all that value?
The price points are a steal. It's an absolute steal. The answer is unequivocally no. Usually it's at least $1,000 or more for what we are offering at a VIP level, right? So the early bird pricing here actually really is an early bird pricing, to where it's going to be, it's in your best interest. Okay. It's in your best interest to get your ticket now, because what we're offering, and trust me, the difference between general admission and VIP is significant, right? Now, if you can't do VIP, then do general admission. Fine, show up, at least get in the room, right? If you want to grow your business, at least get in a room. But I'm telling you, for a few $100 more, especially right now at this price point, it is so worth going VIP. Less thought, you get to mingle and jingle with the movers and shakers and the meetings after the meetings and all those things, and you get fed and you don't have to think about it. You just show up at the next thing. And because you know what happens? Okay, all of you who are VIPs, we're going this way. Everybody else, have a good time, figure it out. Do you want to have to figure it out? You're going to spend the money anyway. You're going to end up spending money to eat anyway. Might as well just pay it in advance at a small level and get, wined and dined in a really exotic way and with some awesome people. It just makes sense. And remember, a mentor of mine said, if it makes sense, it makes dollars.
I like that. I like that. So, Lancelot, you and I have traveled together to a couple of events. We were traveling, and I said, Lancelot, I have a couple of calls to make. and they're to actual CLA members because they wanted to be on my shows. And but at that same point, because you were traveling with me, I put you on the call as well, and you were able to talk to some of the folks. How was that for you? Because you would never have met them had you not been in the car with me, correct?
Correct. Correct. Well, well, first it was just, just meeting a CLA member is always an honor and pleasure. But just to have that conversation on why you should show up at the next event, and why it's beneficial is always interesting because I'm always learning as well the benefits of being in the room. This is was new to me. I can't say it anymore because it's been a year since I've been around, but it's always good to know the benefits of just being in the room with other entrepreneurs and other people that think like yourself, because that's important. And like Jose said earlier, re-energizing that pact is very important, especially as an entrepreneur, is to get around other entrepreneurs, and the energy and frequency and vibrations are incredible. I learned that when we went to in Philadelphia. I learned the value of vibrational energy and being in that place where everybody's thinking the same, with the same perspective, trying to change the world, and what that does to you, because proximity is power, as they say. So that conversation in the car helps me out as much as it does the person that is actually on the call, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I would love to piggyback off that, and a lot of great points. And we can hope. I mean, I wish this call today, this live, was 2 hours because no, 3 hours, 3 hours, because we can just go 1 hour on planes, 1 hour on trains, and 1 hour on automobiles, right? But I can tell you, at the end of the day, for me personally, and I speak for myself, but I think many of us would agree, especially the Sifu Rafaels of the world and the Lancelots and the Scott Schillings of the world. Good to see you, Scott. I
Good
can
to see
tell
you.
you the difference between successful entrepreneurs, people that are actually growing in their business, right? And struggling entrepreneurs. There's a gap there, if you know, between successful entrepreneurs that are growing and struggling entrepreneurs that are not, right? It's often measured by the miles traveled and the rooms you've entered. I'll say that one more time. The gap between successful entrepreneurs and struggling entrepreneurs is often measured by the miles traveled and the rooms you've entered. Okay. Every major breakthrough for me, for the most part, now I'm not saying every single one, but let's just say majority, I'll change the verbiage. Majority of all the breakthroughs in my life and in my business on a personal and professional level came because I got on a plane, I got in a car, I got on a train, I booked a hotel, I invested in myself, and I showed up to an event in person. Those are all the major breakthroughs that's happened. Very rarely has it happened unexpectedly in a Zoom room. It's usually in a physical room that I've showed up to as an event that I've invested in and I sacrificed to get there. It usually happens that way. And the only exception to breakthroughs on a Zoom is if you're on a CLA call with Scott or myself. But besides that, it's the physical in-person rooms. I could quite literally trace story after story after story after breakthrough, after success, after major connection, after big client, after multiple, 10 clients at a time, whatever it was. A lot of these success stories came because I made a sacrifice, I showed up, and I found a way to win.
I got to tell you, Jose, I'm going to tell you about a breakthrough that happened for me with you. We'd seen each other many a times. We started doing Heroes Rising and everything. But the breakthrough, and we were doing Heroes Rising, but the breakthrough came for me when you and I were hugging in Maryland at the CLA Global, and you whispered in my ear and you said, "I love you, man." I was like, wow, that was powerful. And that touched me. And I obviously responded back. I said, "I love you too, man." And that moment right there, I knew it was special. But we'd already been on virtuals so many times. I never felt it till that particular day. And that to me was really powerful.
Speaking of that, I've heard you speak before virtually and say things virtually like this, right? And I've heard you talk many times. I never, ever saw you physically speak on a stage in person. And that day at my event, the one you're referencing, you spoke on my stage, on the big stage, and your message like dropped my jaw. And I learned some things about you that I never knew about you. And you let it kind of rip on everybody at one time in public on a big stage. And then from there, I was like, man, I have a whole different perspective of Sifu Rafael. And there was this like connection, this bond that happened in that moment when you got off the stage where I hugged you. And that was like a special moment that I also will never forget, because it was, again, you can't recreate that. You can't make that up. It's just a tangible, palpable experience that, again, has to be experienced in person. And that's the kind of stuff that happens in the rooms that we put on.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, I can tell people I'm a speaker and they're like, yeah, that's nice. But unless you actually listen to a speaker speak, like we did with, oh my gosh, I got to tell you, Scott blew us all away in Philadelphia. He was just dead on. He was funny. He was great.
Oh, MCing.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Him and yes, they did.
And Raquel, but he's done over he's been with some of the really incredible speakers throughout his career. But when you're like, oh yes, you're a great speaker, but when you actually see and feel it,
it was good.
It changes the way you feel about a person, just like what Jose said about me, because he never heard me speak. Right? He learned things about me. He learned the way I move, the way I do things, and maybe even the reasons why I do certain things. So had Jose watched me, and you guys can go and watch any speaker on YouTube, and you're like, okay, that's good. But if you see it in person, it dynamically changes your feeling on the spot. It definitely does. Listen, Lancelot is a professional tap dancer with his own unique style. Nobody else has your style, Lancelot. But we can say that all we want here. But unless we physically see you doing it, we don't feel it. And we saw you do it in Philadelphia. And the funny thing is, you're going to forget this, but I will never forget it. You were so hot and on fire that your shoes started to melt. Do you recall that? Do you recall that?
That was the most embarrassing thing ever. My shoes
It was
literally.
not that to you, but to us, it was amazing to see.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was crazy. Literally,
it blew up. You had like a little mini in your shoe.
Yeah, it was really, you were so powerful, brother. I got to tell you, yes, you might have been embarrassed, but everybody who was there was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Look at that. Look, even Michael Stevenson says, I remember that, right? Wasn't that really powerful?
Big Mike, what's going on, man? Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, wow. Speaking of, we look in Greece, so that should be fun. Hope you guys are counting down. I have this officially happening, the hourglass. But going back to, I guess all these pieces we're talking about, planes, trains, and automobiles. For those of you who are just hopping on, and wondering what the heck does that even mean. It's the ways that we become resourceful to find a way to get to our destination. And our destination is the physical in-person rooms. And again, I was talking earlier that successful entrepreneurs and the ones that are struggling, the gap between them usually is the miles they've traveled, the resourcefulness of finding a way to win, to get into the rooms and attending the events, right? It's required. It's part of the deal. Resource will always beat resources. Very, very clear. I say this all the time. It is important. There's always a way. Winners always find a way to win, as I say, right? There is no real roadblock there if you get resourceful, right? I don't have the money, Jose. You don't understand. I don't have the money. Oh, you don't understand. I don't have the time, or it's too far, or this and this and this. But you know what? Other people are figuring it out. They figure it out. They drive. They get in a train. They book a flight. They might split hotel rooms. They might carpool with a bunch of people in a car, right? They might find a sponsor. Hey, would you sponsor me to go to this event? You know, it's just a conversation away. They save money in advance. They actually have a budget for live events, and they put money aside little by little, right? Successful people are resourceful long before they become wealthy. Okay, so before somebody's wealthy, before somebody's financially independent in business, they become resourceful. And that allows them to create the opportunities. So I can tell you, I don't even know how many rooms, guys, I have split with people in my career of going to events. I can't tell you how many times I've been like a sardine in a can with like 8 bodies on the floor. Okay. I have been in rooms sharing with guys, not with women, obviously, but sharing with guys. And I have shared rooms with 8 dudes, sometimes 10 in a room where there's like a spread of people on the floor. And we do rock, paper, scissors every night, process of elimination to see who gets to bed. Right? And I've done this countless times. I have been in a car where we carpool to drive to South Carolina 8 hours or 4 hours to North Carolina or whatever the case is. And we're all like this, smashed in a car in a Toyota Tercel, driving all the way there. And we do rock, paper, scissors to see who keeps switch driving, whatever. I have been in the worst possible plane, Spirit Airlines, in the last row, you know, on standby, trying to get the cheapest flight I could possibly get. I can tell you story after story after story. I have had somebody sponsor me for multiple events saying, hey, man, if you take care of me this event, I will save money. And the next event you go to, I'll take care of you. You know, different strategic ways to get creative. It's just a matter of thinking laterally. Too many of us think in one way. You got to think laterally. You got to think outside of the ordinary way of thinking to get different kind of results. So sometimes that requires you to step outside of your common way of thinking. So again, it goes back to resourcefulness. So if you are the kind of person who says, well, I don't share rooms with more than 3 people, or I don't know you, or this and this and this, or I have this standard of this and this and this. Let me tell you something. In times of need, you got to put that aside. And you got to say, I am going to do what needs to be done to get the result that I'm after, because my dream and my vision is bigger than the inconvenience.
Well,
I got to tell you, go ahead, Lancelot.
Well, I just wanted to, speaking of resourcefulness, you know, it was about 2 weeks ago now when we were in Philadelphia. I had the decision to make. My birthday was that Sunday. I had family over, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I pull this off, get to Philly and then be back for my family who was from out of town. And so I decided to drive up that morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I got there at 5:30 and knocked on you guys' door. And Sifu was already up working out. And
I was at the gym.
already at the gym when I got there. And then so I made it there. And I'm not one of those guys that can drive long distance, but I got there. Went to the event, enjoyed the event. Big shout out to Scott and Raquel, who did an incredible job of emceeing the event. And Jose, co-host, it was just incredible. After the event, I then turned around and drove all the way back to New York City from Philly by myself and made it. And I talk about just resourcefulness is
Well done.
getting there, you know what I mean, and figuring out how to get there and figuring out how to get back home and appease two things at the same time. You know what I mean? So just speaking on resourcefulness, I just want to mention that because that was a hell of a day. I was exhausted, but it was well worth it. Well worth it.
I got to tell you, prior to me doing events with you guys, I was one of those guys that would never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, never share a room with another, never, ever share a room with another person. Never. I will go and stay at the nicest and most expensive hotels, never, ever share a room. And then I shared a room with Jose. And my fiance is like, "You're going to share a room with Jose?" I said, "Yeah." And I think that first room was in Canada. And we were at an event for Danny Z. And so even after that, now I'm always like, "Hey, Jose, you got somebody to share with?" Or now, guess what? Lancelot and I are going to Virginia Beach in August. And we are not only sharing a room, but we are also flying together. We got seats together. We're going to have, snacks together. We're going to have, but here's the thing. I'm going to take an automobile. I'm going to catch the train to the plane. I'm going to meet up with Lancelot. I think he's doing the same thing. He's going to take the train to the plane. And then we're going to get there. And then when we get there, we'll probably have to get an Uber or something like that, because it's not worth getting a rental because we're going to just be at a destination, right? It's not like we're traveling. So I think we'll take an Uber. But there we go. We're traveling. We're going to travel together. We're going to stay together. We're going to do things together. We're going to be separate as well. But I never imagined myself sharing a room with another person or even traveling with another person. I was always solo, always, and I always felt alone when I went to these events, and I would meet up people and so forth. But I always knew I would come back to my event, my room, be by myself. And a lot of times I would just stay in my room and write and do all and I didn't go out as much. But now I got to tell you, my life has been enriched because of being with you guys, sharing rooms with you guys. We even had Michael Stevenson stay with us one day because he was heading back. And I'm like, "No, you're not going back." He goes, "I don't have a room." I said, "Of course you have a room. You have a room with us." So he was like, "Okay, I have a room." But here's the thing. When you can create such great relationships, they're worth investing in. And I'm so happy I invested in with you guys.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Go ahead after you, Lancelot.
I was just going to say that investment is everything. And then being able to, if you're not used to doing one thing, and being open to investing, and not only investing money, but investing time in yourself into other people and learning about other people. That's key. Like you said, we room together, and I learned something every time I room with Sifu. Sifu makes up the bed in a hotel room when we have maids to make up the bed or whatever we call it. I don't want to call them maids. That's probably the wrong thing to call them now. But I learned, because as a person who's always trying to constantly better myself, I learned that even when you're in the hotel, if you make your bed up every morning, then you should be making your bed up in the hotel as well. So I do that now, which I had never done before. But every time I'm around Sifu, I learn something else. So that's one of the other benefits when you take the time out to get to know somebody and travel with somebody.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sifu does make a really strong bed. I'll tell you that. I've seen him bed, and I'm like, man, that looks like it never was slept in. But one thing I could say is, and this is just, again, a reality that I've experienced, and I think many of us can relate to, is that the rooms you get into, the live events, right? When we say the rooms, we're talking about the live events. We're no longer talking hotel rooms. the live events that you show up to and you physically show up to, they actually change you, right? They literally change you because you're getting around other winners, you're getting around other leaders, you're getting around other successful entrepreneurs. And remember, every room has its temperature, right? Wouldn't you agree to some degree? There's a temperature in different rooms, and every room has its unique temperature. If you're hanging around complainers, can I tell you something?
You start to complain.
You're a complainer.
That's right.
If you're hanging around visionaries, can I also tell you another thing? You're going to think bigger. When you start hanging around visionaries, your thinking is going to expand, right? You're hanging around action takers, all of a sudden you move faster. You become an executive decision maker. You take massive action. You start to move quicker because you're around action takers, right? Your environment of where you are is either going to accelerate your growth or it's going to limit your potential. You decide how that works based on who you hang out with. And if you're hanging around our rooms, the NYC Mastermind Experience, especially coming up in Atlanta, Georgia, September 25th to the 27th, those are the rooms where you're going to meet visionaries, right? People that are going to make you think bigger, leaders, so you can lead better. You're going to meet dreamers. And I'm sure we've all heard this before. How do you keep your dream alive? You hang around
other dreamers. Yeah. That's right.
Get in the rooms with these winners so that you can position yourself to at least have a shot to win in life. But I promise you, you're not going to find that shot on the bench.
Absolutely. I love what Renee put here. Once you go VIP, you just won't go back because it's a life changer. Think about that. Now, if you cannot afford VIP, still get in the room. It's still worth it because I've been to many events where Jose knows I've never been in a room where I haven't been VIP. I know the difference, right? And I've watched the difference because I've been in the VIP section and I'm looking at the people. I'm like, oh, how come they came up? Oh, there's a rope. It depends on the size of the event. They have security. You can't even go to my area. You can't even come talk to me because I'm VIP. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of different. I'm like, so what I do, I go into the general admission area and I talk to some of the people because I want to get to know them. Maybe they couldn't afford to be in the same space I'm at. But those places truly, truly separate VIP from general admission. We don't do that. Don't get me wrong. VIP gets special seating, but we create a space where we let everybody come together because we have masterminds during the event. Masterminds where everybody in the room gets to be together. Our events are not huge. And there's a reason for that. Because how can you talk to somebody and get to know people if there's 1,000 people to choose from? You got a little bit lost. Like, I didn't get to talk to everybody. Like, oh man, I only talked to 2 people. But here, you get to be a part of a mastermind. And then we have a speaker, and then we have a mastermind. And so it breaks the monotony of just sitting there and not being active and not being able to share or even listen deeper. So that's how we make our events so, so different. And I encourage you to join us. Now, there was somebody that you just threw up on the screen, Jose, and somebody who does events all the time, right? Michael Faber.
Yeah, I was about to shout him out. So, guys, Michael Faber was just on here a second ago. And as a matter of fact, he is going to be hosting an event in Reno, Nevada. So he has an event happening in Reno, Nevada. I believe it's in March. Okay, so I don't have the date directly in front of me, but it's in March, and it's going to be.
I know when it is because it's around my birthday, and every time he does it, I said, "You got to do it when it's not my birthday." Because
It's going to
So,
be the Movement Maker Live in Reno, Nevada, at Atlantis. Beautiful, amazing resort, casinos there, all kinds of stuff. You don't want to miss it. I'm going to be there 100%. And I encourage other people to get into the room. This is, again, another room that you should be in. Right, there you go. March 19th to the 21st. So March 19th to the 21st, Reno, Nevada. I've been to multiple events of Michael Faber. And in particular, I've been to one Movement Maker Live. And it was absolutely epic. Right? Unforgettable.
I'm gonna have to do something, Jose. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Listen, winners find a way to win. And it's just
I know, but it's my birthday weekend and it's crazy, but we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk.
It's a room you want to get into. So, folks, reach out to Michael, or you can reach out to me, and I'll connect you to Michael. But big shout out to him. And Michael, we got to have you in Atlanta. Okay, we got to find a way to get you in Atlanta to speak on our stage at the NYC Mastermind Experience. We'll have a separate sidebar conversation there. But reach out to Michael for his event in March. Don't want to miss that. I assure you on that one. And then, Michael, you need to come to Atlanta. We need to have you on our stage too. So, anyway, back to you, Sifu.
March 19th through the 21st, 2027. Okay. I am going to do my best to try to get my fiance to say yes. That's my whole thing. So, yeah, Jose definitely crushed it. Jose crushes it everywhere. Michael, we both know that, right? So, yes, I do have 50 more. Actually, I got more than that coming up. So, think about when we do events. The reason we do events is not so we can hear ourselves talk. It's not so we can see. We're talking now. It's so we can impact deeper. But we can't do the impact, just the three of us. So this is why we bring great, incredible communicators, speakers, movers and shakers into the room to be able to make that difference for everybody in there. And this is why Jose said to Michael, you need to speak at our stage. And Michael, reach out, man. We'd love to have you there. And guess what, Michael? It's not crazy because we're not charging for speakers. We don't charge speakers. And it's incredible. Just reach out to me or Jose and we'll set you up if you're interested. And I'm going to do my best to be there. So we'll have to have that conversation too.
Very cool. Very cool. Speaking of Reno, we got to get Jacqueline Strominger to come to Movement Maker Live because I know she lives in Reno.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyhow,
what's the name of the event? You said movie making?
No, Movement Maker Live.
Oh, I thought you said movie making. I was like,
Yeah,
So-
says the actor.
Well, I will be talking to Jacqueline and I'll tell her about your event. So shoot me the details, brother.
Cool.
Oh, here, I'll throw that back up for you. So yeah, I like what Renee says here, right? And VIP is your mindset. I would even just drop it right there because that's everything. It's how you show up. This is why I've always gone VIP. And I've spent more in one day for VIP than we're charging for 3 days of VIP at our event currently. Remember, there is going to be procrastination tax. If you wait, prices are going up. There's no doubt prices are going to go up. And then when you can't complain because you waited. So yeah, I've spent thousands of dollars to be at a one-day event. And it was totally VIP and it was extremely worth it. Now, if you go to an event and you don't benefit, whose fault is it? I'm going to leave that one there. Whose fault is it if you go to an event and you don't benefit?
That's an easy answer there.
it's your own fault.
Yeah, yeah. You got to show up to events with intentionality. You got to know, what am I looking to get out of this event? You got to know, begin with the end in mind. What do I need? Who am I looking to meet? What are the individuals that need to cross my path? Like, you have to have a sense of urgency, a sense of clarity, and a sense of intentionality to what you're doing. If you just show up to an event and go where the wind blows, you might be talking to the wrong people. You might be spending 1 hour in the same conversation, right? You got to work the room. There's a reason why people call it working the room, because it takes work, takes energy, it takes effort, right? Working the room is not hanging out with one person for 2 hours, so it's very important thoughts to consider. And remember, folks, that I've heard so many people say, I'm praying to meet this person. I'm praying that this person will come into my life. A lot of times the room that you refuse to enter is the room that contains that relationship you've been praying for. Right? It's just, you just don't know. Every major breakthrough in my business has come from a live event that I've gone to. Just about every single major breakthrough in my business. The road to success in entrepreneurship, because that's what we're on. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to these events because you're a business owner. So that road to success of entrepreneurship is paved by airline tickets, hotel receipts, uncomfortable decisions, inconvenience, right? Annoyances, right? Being in a room with 8 people like sardines, like I've done multiple times, right? Being smashed in a car and a carpooling to get somewhere, driving 8 hours, right? Finding a way to figure things out, right? You have to find a way to win. And I'm telling you, if you don't have the miles and you don't have the receipts and you're not uncomfortable, you're just not doing enough. And then when you're complaining that your business isn't growing, don't look at anybody else but yourself.
I think if I go to the Move Maker, because you got me thinking, right? And I'm thinking Lancelot. I'm like, wait a minute. He's saying movie maker, but if I get to Lancelot to go with me to Michael Faber's event, it will be the Movie Maker event. So we'll have to talk too, Lancelot, because listen, you're so right. When you go to a space and you only sit with the people you know. Now, we were in Atlanta. Lancelot was at my table. Coach T.O was at my table. There were other people at my table. And at times, people were dispersed. They were here, they were there. There was a table across from us. They only hung out with each other the whole time. The whole time. Jose was over here. He was behind us a little bit because he was he was manning his table, right? But there was a table right there, and it looked like there were families. Some of them were veterans and so forth. But they didn't socialize. They only socialized with each other. How much growth happens when you do that? You grow as a community, no doubt. You grow in your family. But to truly grow, I always say you have to get uncomfortable because comfort kills growth.
Absolutely. You go to the dreams die in the comfort zone, as they say. That's where you go to dreams die.
That's it. And everyone needs to meet Lancelot.
Thank you, Renee. And thank you for watching the film. Renee watched the film with her husband last night, I think it was. So thank you, Renee. You wrote, you enjoyed it. So appreciate the support.
So tell us again where everybody can watch your latest movie.
Okay, you can watch it on Amazon Prime, Fox Soul, and Tubi. And interestingly enough, Fox just brought Tubi. So we just premiered on both Fox and Tubi at the same time. I have Tubi on my phone. It's free. So I just finished watching the film early this morning. So it's interesting to be able to pull it up so and have access to it. But you can get it on, like I said again, Amazon Prime, Fox, Soul, or Tubi. The name of the movie is The Veteran, because there's a few others called The Veteran, but it's The Veteran, and it's doing very well, and it's gotten great reviews. So I would encourage you guys to get out there, if not to support your boy who's a part of the CLA NYC Experience. So hope you guys get a chance to check it out. It's good work.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your career as a professional actor, movie star. I mean, it's nice to rub shoulders with people like you that are, creating massive impact and doing big things, right? Because to me, that's what inspires me, is to be around the Sifus of the world that have multiple businesses, very successful, mission, purpose-driven serial entrepreneur, right? The guy thinks bigger than most people. I love being around people like Sifu. I love being around people like you that are, rubbing shoulders with people in Hollywood and doing amazing things. And you are now on this amazing movie, which, by the way, I'm going to watch it tonight with my wife. Once all the smoke settles and we've packed and I have my last call, I think my last call is done at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm going from 7 to 8 today, all day, nonstop, because that's what we do. Winners have to find a way to get the job done, right? So I'm going to do all that stuff. And then at night, before I go to bed, I'm going to watch the film on Amazon Prime tonight with my wife. So you'll look here from me. And guys, support Lancelot and his career as an actor. Go check out the movie. Watch it. It's The Veteran. It just came out recently, and the guy is absolutely crushing it. So final thoughts from me, because we're top of the hour.
Oh, yes.
Really quickly, I'll turn it over to you guys, is planes, trains, automobiles. Okay. I don't care how you get to Atlanta, Georgia. I really don't. What matters to me is seeing you physically there, giving you a hug and saying, welcome to the winner's circle. Welcome to what it takes to win. Congratulations on making the decision to be here. Because at the end of the day, some people are going to find whatever excuse they can find and hold on to say, I can't be there. And some people are going to find whatever reason they need to find a way to make it happen and to become resourceful. Because remember, success has a very interesting and funny way of finding the people who show up. Success.
I want to share one video before we wrap up. Let me share this one, Lancelot, and then we'll be right back.
We are here in Tampa, Florida for the NYC Mastermind Experience. It was an absolutely epic weekend.
This was our fifth one, the sixth one.
Coming up in Hot Atlanta, that's right, Atlanta, Georgia, and our host, the great T.O. Clay.
Hey, you don't want to miss it. Come September, the new Hollywood of the South, ATL, baby. Make sure from NY to Tampa to Atlanta, Georgia. Can't wait to see you there. Peace.
Light up the city, every rise tonight. Every speaker bringing down in that fire, that light. No funny, no fear, just truth on the mic. It's the NYC life, we unite, light up.
That's it. Light up the city, man. We're going to light up Atlanta. Go ahead, Lancelot.
And I just want to say, get there in Atlanta, do whatever you have to do, planes, trains, automobiles. Why? Because proximity is power. Get in that room. If you're looking to change your life, if you're looking to grow as an individual, if you're looking to change the world and help people to be the best that they could be, get in that room, because vibrational energy, frequency, when you get around like-minded people, it is an incredible experience. And I promise you, if you just get there, the room will do the rest. See you guys in Atlanta.
I'm also going to say it's insane when you remain the same, isn't it? Should you want to impact your life, your own personal life, your financial life, sometimes we have to get uncomfortable. Sometimes we have to get in an automobile. Sometimes we have to get on a train. Sometimes we have to get on a plane. And sometimes we have to do all those things. So I encourage you to get a little uncomfortable to impact your life. And I suggest you join us in Atlanta. You will not be sorry. And I love what Jose said. Welcome to the winner's circle.
What a way to end it. Jose, safe travels, my friend. Safe travels. Enjoy. Sifu, have a great day, guys. Love you guys. Peace.
Everyone who's in the room is all about giving. Everyone who show up here and who are in the room are just givers, and they just want everyone to become better and better entrepreneurs, better founders, better coaches, better givers. You are going to meet the best of the best in this room, and it's an intimate experience, right? Sometimes you go to events where there are hundreds or thousands of people, and here in the New York City Mastermind, it's an intimate experience. So you really get to know them. You get to know them as people and not as just a number that's out there. So I highly recommend New York City Mastermind to anyone.